Hi guys, Dewey here with a new video, and this video will be a PTR video on the Enhancement Shaman. As you may know, I am really loving the spec right now. I also love the intention that they give to Enhancement Shaman, and they have made other changes on the PTR which are very cool. I've tested those changes for around 30 minutes. Again, no real PvP because there is just no PvP going on PTR, but you can already deduce a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff are going to be very noticeable on the power level of an Enhancement Shaman. Now, they don't fix mobility, that is for sure, but let's talk about the changes that they made, and then I'm going to show you the changes. I'm going to talk principally about Stormbringer because they don't really do totemic changes on this list right now. So for now, I'm going to talk about only Stormbringer. So Voltaic Blaze is a new new talent that you can pick, which whenever you're doing a lightning bolt or a chain lightning or a tempest, you have 18% chance to make your next flame shock becoming Voltaic Blaze. Voltaic Blaze, which is, to be fair, just a nature shock kind of feel. It instantly shocks the target and 5 nearby enemies, with blazing thunder causing nature damage and applying flame shock. So it's also a spread flame shock, so if you're like a elementalist build, you might also love that. And it generates 1 stack of maelstrom weapon. We have also Unrelenting Storm, which is now a choice node for beneath Crash Lightning. So whenever you're only hitting one target, it will also activate Wind Fury weapon. So you have another way to proc Wind Fury weapon very reliably, and the cooldown has been reduced by 40%. I'm going to be honest, I still prefer Converging Storms for many situations, but also to just augment the damage of a Storm Strike, but also a Wind Strike. I think this is quite niche because I don't see a lot of PvP situations where I only hit one target. Often it also hits pets, for example, and you cannot really control that. For raids, I guess it is something nice. Storm Blast has been updated, so now you can have an additional charge of Storm Strike, which is very cool, and actually helps smoothing out the spec. It also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first time where you have a double charge Storm Strike. If I'm mistaken, please do remember when it was, but I don't remember Stormstrike having another charge since, I don't know, even if it happened. Stormstrike now also causes your next Stormstrike to deal 25% additional damage as nature damage, which is still the same, but also stacking up to 2 times. So you can have double Storm Surge proc. So now Storm Blast, the name of it is not Stormbringer anymore, it's Storm Surge. And that damage, you can have it stacking up 2 times, so you can have double Storm Strike with Storm Blast tied to it, or Storm Surge tied to it. But I've tested, and it's not like a lot of situations will come up where you will have double stacks of that, but it will help whenever you're going into Ascendance. So whenever you have Ascendance up and you're having a lot of lightning bolts, chain lightning and such, you could actually proc 2 times Storm Surge to actually get those 2 Storm Blasts doing additional damage. Storm Blast additional nature damage now also functions main hand and offhand attacks, so that's also just a big buff towards damage. Arc Lightning has been updated for Stormbringer as well, so now it will be instant 40% increased damage for Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt, and it will cost an additional time. That additional time is around 20% of a lightning bolt, but it is let's say a 20% extra damage on your lightning bolt, which is always going to be quite nice. They also have slightly adjusted Torrent's Evocation, so if Torrent's Evocation is slated to use Chain Lightning, it will no longer cost 5 stack Tempest as a replacement of Chain Lightning when using Wind Strike, and that's the quality of life change. To be fair, 5 stack Tempest is never going to be very useful. You prefer to do a 10 stack, so you even prefer to not do a Wind Strike, you prefer to do a 1 Tempest and then do a Wind Strike afterwards. But it's very micromanaging. Sometimes you just press too fast and it just happens, so it's very hard to control that, but whenever you can, try to do that controlled. The old effect has been added back, so now you have still the 20% increased damage on Lightning Bolt and Tempest and Chain Lightning. Deeply rooted elements now activate from Tempest, Lightning Bolt, or Chain Lightning. We're going to test that as well and see if it's proccing more than usual. From my understanding, it will proc a bit more often, but I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, it could be useful because again, if you're like in range and you are not in melee, but it procs, you can still do wind strike afterwards because it has range. So it's a good change, but I don't know if it's really better than a 2-minute ascendance. The damage effect of Doom Winds is no longer considered a melee weapon attack and does not generate Maelstrom weapon or trigger Flame Tongue weapon. So again, it's a mini nerf. An issue causing Primal Maelstrom to steal Grant. So now it's 3-5 instead of 5-10. So it is a big nerf. Let's be honest. It should really be removed and just like do other talents by this point, because it doesn't really serve the purpose anymore of what it used to do. Ice Strike is now a choice node, so now you have a ranged version which is replacing Frost Shock whenever you get it procced. And you have the existing melee one, which is the same as what we have on live server. Personally, I actually like the ranged version one because it actually goes around 10 seconds and it will be depending on your haste as well. So personally, I really like that, and giving us an option to actually do damage from ranged is still always going to be better than something that you're very much tied to melee. Ice Strike no longer highlights Frost Shock on the action bars because it gets replaced pretty much. Obviously depends, I guess, but I'm still going to play the ranged version. In Ice Strike, Frost Shock buff is now in personal resource display. Lightning Spark has been removed, and we have also fixed several issues with interactions between Tempest and other specialization talents. So it is 100% a buff because you have a few things that are not like tied to Tempest, but well, it is tied for Lightning Bolt, but now it will be tied to Tempest, which is a good thing. Now let's talk those changes on the PTR and show you the real thing, right? So we have the talents here. So the few things that are changed since the previous PTR video. I'm not going to talk about all the changes that made the previous one, because again, totemic has been changed a lot on that previous one. But the biggest changes are Arc Discharge. It is actually like very much like interest. Like it is too interesting to say that it's not like. And we have now the details up, so we are going to see the damage that it does. Take in mind that PvP modifiers don't work on dummies, just in general. So you do understand that it will be more or less depending on if there is a buff or a nerf on PvP modifiers. But a few changes here, for example, Supercharge, now it's also like recent Tempest. My understanding is it doesn't change too much. It was working with Tempest. Arc Discharge, big. We have now Voltaic Blaze, and like I said, it is actually doing a lot of damage. Like 300k nature damage is more than a I would say a 8 or 7 stack Lightning Bolt. Whenever you have 10 stacks, it does more damage Lightning Bolt, but like again, you have to understand it is something that is going to regen you, like generate 1 stack of Maelstrom, apply multiple flame shocks, but also do insane amount of damage. And if you have like nature wolves, lightning wolves, you will do also more damage on that as well. And it procs often. Like 18% is like 1 out of 5 pretty much lightning bolts and tempest, and you all know we are pressing that button pretty often. So that happens also quite a lot. And Stormblast, like I said, an additional charge, always nice. Doom Winds is like just a better version right now than what we had previously. And we have here the choice node between single target crash lightning, if you're hitting only 1 target, which is not guaranteed in PvP. And Chronologic Storms, which is still something that is going to augment the damage that your Storm Strike can do. And here we have deeply rooted elements changed to Tempest, Lightning Bolt, and Chain Lightning activations, but no Storm Strike. They could pretty much put Storm Strike as well, but I don't think they are going to do that. And Ascendance. I guess like in real pure multi-cleave situations in PvP, you could actually press Chain Lightning and Tempest every single time, and you would activate it way more often. Now, It depends actually, because one chain lightning is not equal to the amount of hits you do with chain lightning. So I guess casting is not the same. So you could do just lightning bolt or tempest, it would be fine. And ascendance, I think personally I will be playing ascendance 2 minutes because it's like reliable, and in soul shuffle every 2 minutes you are going to be a killing machine, and people are not going to be like really playing around with it. And right now flowing spirits really is cool. I like that, so I play with that. But it will always depend on uptime. If you have uptime, it is very good. If you don't have uptime, I guess Witch Doctor's Ancestry is probably the way to go. We'll have to see. There's a lot of testing that needs to be done. And here you have Turbine Suffocation, like I said, making it a 2 minute ascendance, but also increasing the damage again towards Lightning Bolt. So those are the changes. Now let's talk about the pure damage, right? Good thing is, we have 2 charges of Storm Strike, so you can just do double Storm Strike and proc it itself. We have double Storm Blast directly too. It can proc on itself, which is massive. So again, you can really do a lot of them. Like right now, I'm having 450k DPS with just pressing Storm Strikes. I didn't even press one Tempest, which is crazy. You see, like Storm Strike. It seems like damage is low, but again, remember the modifiers don't work in like on dummies. It just is what it is. We have a Voltaic Surge, Voltaic Blaze, so I'm going to do it once for you guys. So for example, here we have one Spirit Wolf, boom, 400k, and it is like an instant cast. It reminds me of Earthshock from Classic, where Earthshock was a thing for every single shaman, but now only for elemental shaman. And it's really, really cool in the rotation. Like you spam it every single time. It does a lot of damage. And you have the ranged ice strike as well popping off. And if you're going to do a burst, you can just do like a big burst like this. Again, I should play around like this. And then you can just spam wind strike, and it does insane damage. This is like insane damage. Like this is looking cool, right? You could just play around that. And yeah, I really like it. But how does it show like damage wise though? For example, here you have like a free lightning bolt, double lightning bolt, which is doing pretty much a lot of work. You can see here I did like a lightning bolt. I can show you here. So I did a lightning bolt 878k, which is in nature lightning bolt. I have the lightning rod, which is the passive from my tempest, and then a 200k lightning bolt, which is the arc discharge second cast. They should actually write that it's like 1/5 of a lightning bolt, but this is actually very much good damage. Like that was without Maelstrom, I think. So 870k nature damage. I guess it's with Maelstrom. So it does use Maelstrom as well if you have Maelstrom, because it's not written that it doesn't use anymore Maelstrom. You see, so you could add upon your Maelstrom as well. We can test it as well right now if you want to. We have 200k nature damage, so again it's like 1.1 million damage just because of a passive, and that's without critting. I can say that it's very strong. Like this is going to feel very nice. And then Voltaic Blaze, again, like it's AoE. I'm critting 1 million on a dummy, obviously. And I don't have like optimized gear. Like this gear is not optimized at all. It is fully geared though, but it is not optimized. Like I would play way more greedy with mastery and haste. I have currently more haste on my shaman, on my enhancement shaman right now on the live server. So this would not be what I would be playing. This is a training dummy. Wait, PvP training dummy? Okay, maybe we can test here. We'll be testing right now. So and one test I want to show you guys. Oh, this is the proc, by the way. So you're very fast, but it's in PvP. It's going to be probably like indoors. It's going to be 50%. So it's going to be nice, but it's not going to be like massive. Like it's not a blink. So don't expect too much from it. So we have a Tempest now. I'm going to cast it for science. So we have like a cast, boom. And let's say I'm going to get like 10 Maelstrom, right? It did use it. Rip. I need to test it without the lightning. I'm still in combat, so I need to wait for a bit. Right, the lightning will just use it, obviously, so it's not going to be that good. But it's good. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be like good for testing. I still think right, the lightning is the way to go if you're like playing with this, like the arc discharge. So, full tight shock, hitting 3 targets, which is pretty nice. You see, like the damage is really cool, and that's without like bursting, right? I'm going to get like Tempest. Okay, so for science, I'll try to get my 10 Maelstrom really quickly. Okay, I have 10 Maelstrom. Rip. Now I have no Maelstrom. I have another Tempest. I'm going to do another Tempest. Alright, so now I'll go for 10 Maelstrom. I have 10 Maelstrom now. I need to wait for the dogs to go out. But I can actually like just do that. I don't care. So I'm gonna do 1 lightning bolt. And it did actually a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage, guys. Like I did 760k with Maelstrom, 760k, 539k together. It did around 1,000,002 with it, which is very much like very strong in PvP, but also it could crit. So if it critted, it would be like a straight deletion. So I'm going to test without Maelstrom and see if the damage is different. So you have a big picture about that. So we have right now Tempest, boom. I'm going to remove my Maelstrom weapon. I have another Tempest, I have to do it again. Tempest here, alright. I'm going to wait for the dogs to go out, which I can't. I'm taking the Maelstrom out, alright. I'm going to wait the dog, should be gone. So it did a lot less. So like I said, it was like using the Maelstrom, but that's for the better, right? So it did 250k and then 203k. So it means that if you pull Maelstrom with the arc discharge, it is actually just a straight buff to your lightning bolt. So every time you're going to do a Tempest, it is going to literally buff your lightning bolt by 40%. And it is nerfed in PvP by 50%, so it's only 20%. But remember, guys, 20% and it costs another time. So that you see, that's why it costs like a lightning bolt of like, let's say 800k and then 20%, that's a 20% increase. And then you have like a normal lightning bolt with Maelstrom doing, for example, for 600k, which is really good. So again, I'm going to show you like one big go. So let's say I'm going to pull a bit. Boom, I have wolves out. I'm going to use heroism, and literally like everything. I'm using everything right now. It's like burst. I'm going to do a big lightning bolt here, lightning bolt here, lightning bolt here. And you could also stand just in melee because Doom Winds is now like a aura, right? So if you're like in melee, it's going to do more damage based on your Doom Winds, obviously. But you see, like, again, the damage is really nice. And you need to remember, like, this is like crazy, man. You need to remember that in cleaves you're going to do way better. Obviously, the only issue for Stormbringer is that you need uptime. But like I said, uptime is the issue for both Totemic and Stormbringer. Totemic has pad damage. People say that they do more damage because they, like, if they can't reach, Totemic is quite good. But you have to remember a lot of that damage is actually very much paddy. So if you're really wanting to do like very meaningful damage, right now Stormbringer feels way better. Now, with the rework of Totemic, with semi-rework, you could pretty much play Elementalist, Totemic, and do very much fine. But I really like Stormbringer. I think I will be the ambassador of Stormbringer because people just seem to be preferring Totemic, which I don't. Even on live servers, I'm like climbing on my Soul Shuffle and on my Soul QRBGs and even my threes, although my threes, it will always depend on the team I'm playing, so hopefully it picks up. But you see, Lightning Bolt doing 22% of my damage with 1.3 million crit with a normal hit of 884k, which is really crazy. Then you have Tempest, unfortunately didn't crit, but whenever it crits it goes high. You have your Spirit Wolves, which you have a lot of hits because you do get a lot of Spirit Wolves. You have your Wind Fury attack. doing some okay damage. You have Storm Strike, Wind Strike, Voltaic Blaze, which is literally 735k, which is really cool. Then you have all those like pad or like at least procs from your Storm Strikes. You have your Tempest Strikes, you have your Storm Blast, you have your Awakening Storms that could also be applied to Lightning Bolt or Tempest, for example. Again, your Wind Strike is also on your offhand damage, so you have to count Wind Strike, the 1.88 million, but also the 929 million K. So as a whole, personally, I'm very happy about the semi rework we're getting. This is way better. Like I said, they kind of like dropped the ball by saying like we don't need or intend to do a lot of changes on Enhancement Shaman because it seems that it's fine. No, it was not fine, and I think the changes that they made right now for Enhancement Shaman are actually very cool. I still wish two-handed was a thing. I still wish Storm Strike was more important than a Lightning Bolt, but unfortunately it's never going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but right now I can say that it is way better than on live servers. So if you're playing right now and you still keep on playing till mid-season, because this is mid-season, this will be coming out November, end of October, this is going to make you feel like you're Rock Lee and dropping the weights off, and it's going to be a very neat thing to play and to see and to understand that this is going to be one of the better versions for Enhancement Shaman since Shadowlands. And even then, Shadowlands, it was good because of Chain Harvest, and then they got nerfed, and you know the rest. It would be nice that we are going to play like a good Enhancement Shaman, like fantasy. I still wish we had like 2 charges of Feral Lunge or Gust of Wind plus Spirit Walk. That would help a lot in my opinion. Or Spirit Walk would literally make you like a freedom, right? So if you're using it, because it's a 1-minute CD, it's actually a very big CD, that it's also going to clear you of all snares and roots, but also it will keep you like freedoming every single time. So a root or a snare is not going to work, so it's going to immune yourself from those effects. That would help the spell by a lot. Like a 1-minute CD, just a root clear or a snare clear is kind of weak. Like it's you're getting like rooted or snared back like directly. What we need is actually a freedom. If it's a freedom, then it becomes like something you could literally put on a macro for Ascendance. Like this would be insane if you could do just Spirit Walk into like Ascendance, right? I'm going to show you. So now you can also pop everything, right? Literally, this is making you a walking machine, doing a lot of damage with that. But again, you kind of need Spirit Walk to be a freedom if you want to be like that. Like I do 1.2 million damage just by popping all my CDs, like without like preliminaries or without having Spirit Wolves like up before. It is doing a lot of damage. So I'm looking forward to. People are going to cry for the nerfs probably. I'm excited about it. I don't think it's going to be like out of sudden S tier because it is still a spec that has many flaws, which is dying in stuns and also being rootable and snareable very easily. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to the mid-season patch. Hopefully they don't change too much like in the bad direction before, but I'm looking forward to. So again, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. Hopefully you do enjoy the PTR talk that I made for Enhancement Shaman. I could do about many other specs, but right now I'm very much enjoying my time as Enhancement Shaman, so I will be continuing on that road. So again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.